Hello and welcome to today's review. Today I am talking about a really interesting notebook. It is this. It looks simple and there's not a whole lot to it, but there's a lot going on here. This is the Papermind Dandelaid Paper Notebook. I love laid papers. So laid paper is made by sort of putting like the pulp, I suppose, over like a sort of a wire mesh or frame. And what that does is it means that the paper has a really interesting texture and like kind of like a watermark to it. Blake there at Papermind sourced this paper and I love it. I love writing on laid papers. It feels super luxurious to me. And in terms of my own writing practice, when I'm journaling and things like that, in really intentional writing, it's this kind of paper that I go to, and I've used other laid papers in the past, and this is a very nice one. So let's talk about the parts and features of this notebook. We'll talk about the writing experience and the performance of the paper, and see how we go. So it's got a nice sort of soft, almost sort of fabric kind of cover. It's not at all, it's not sort of hardcover. These are great notebooks to put in notebook covers, as I've said in the past. It's got a nice open mesh glued binding, so like it does sit nice and sort of flat fairly easily, and nice rounded edges, simple clean branding, and the cover goes all the way to the edge of the pages. Simple grey end pages here, and then we open up to my writing page. So we'll talk about this, and then we'll talk about how I've written on here. So this is the light grey version of the Dandelaid paper notebook. It's made in Japan. As I said, it's a Dandelaid paper, which is a laid paper. 80 GSM, 192 pages. It's A5, so it's 148 by 210 millimeters, stock standard A5 size, with a 7 millimeter light grey rule, which I said in the past is a line rule I really enjoy. It's the perfect width for me. Actually, you might be seeing some of the texture of the paper just in that shot there, which is awesome. And the line rule doesn't go all the way to the end of the page, so it's an elegant, nice sort of, beautiful presentation of how you can write on this page. And it's got that soft cover. It lays flat, it's got a bookmark, there's no numbered pages, no elastic, no back pocket, and I've given it a 4.5 out of 5 for fountain pen friendliness. Also said here, it comes with a blotter sheet, which is really important in a lot of these notebooks because sometimes the dry time is just a little bit longer. These are not inexpensive notebooks. I'll link to the Papermind website so you can get all the information. But one thing that's actually really nice is that what they really strive to do is to bring interesting paper into notebooks. So a lot of the papers that they use in their notebooks aren't available in other brands. And that's a really great place, a great reason to use these notebooks. So you're getting beautiful paper in a beautifully made notebook. You're just paying a slight little premium on it, especially in terms of getting them around the world through Papermind, which I said I'll link down below. So with the writing sample, I wrote with a range of pens, the Muji Platinum Polycarbonate with Platinum Carbon Black, the Gravitas Piston Carbon with Mont Blanc Midnight Blue, the Cross Townsend with Mont Blanc Coal Blue, the 5040 Titan with Colorverse Atau, the Asvine C80 1.1mm stub with Mont Blanc Royal Blue. I then write with a range of non-fountain pens, so Uniball I Broad, the Retro 51 Rollerball, the Uniball Zento 0.7, the Lamy Jetstream in the fine nib, a fine tip, the Unipin Fineliner 0.7, a highlighter, a mechanical pencil 0.9 HB, which erased quite nicely, the Tom Studio Wren, a Sharpie, a little bit of Bay State Blue, and then a swatch here of Diamond Blue Velvet. We're getting a little bit of sheen popping up, which is nice, and you find that in some of the other inks and things in this notebook as well. In terms of that dry time, as I mentioned, it's still wet after 30 seconds. By 60 seconds, it's mostly dry, but the use of that blotter sheet will help you be able to sort of function with this book quite easily. On the face here, the colors aren't as vibrant as some other papers. I'll show that in comparison to Tomoe River and the Bank paper shortly, and also the Tranex paper. But you can see the lines are all holding really tight. There's no feathering. It's all very clean. And if we look at the reverse of this page, for the most part, things perform really, really well. The standard fountain pens, rollerballs, all that. The Retro 51 rollerballs tried to get through a little bit there. The Sharpie does come through, the Bay State Blue does come through a little bit, and of course the swatch does as well. But if you're using good standard fountain pens, extra fine through to maybe some broad nibs, particularly if they're not sort of super, super wet, you're gonna have a really lovely writing experience on this page. One thing to take into account is the texture of this paper. You can, as you're writing on it, you can feel the texture of those lines that are made from the laid process. But generally speaking, this is good. There's not a whole lot of, you can definitely see the ghosting, but it's not aggressive ghosting like, say, some Tomoe River paper can be. Speaking of Tomoe River paper, let's have a look at it in comparison here. So this is the Papermind 52 GSM Tomoe River paper notebook using the Sanzen Tomoe River paper. You can see the lines hold fairly similarly. The reason I say this is because the Tranex paper notebook from Papermind, the style of the paper means that everything is like at least one sort of nib size broader. You can see the difference, like if you look at the Piston Carbon Black there from Gravitas versus this one, it's almost like two entirely different pens. So I think the Dandelaid paper here holds the lines fairly true and definitely sort of keeps the colors relatively true. They're not quite as vibrant as they are here on the Tomoe River. And just for the sake of the exercise, here is the bank paper notebook from Papermind. And you can see the colors here are fantastic. This is where the colors really shine. They stand out here, they're vibrant, they're clean. But in terms of this being a slightly whiter paper, this being sort of more slightly off-white, I think the Dandelaid paper here is really fantastic. So what are my thoughts about this notebook specifically? Well, firstly, this is, as I said, a great notebook to put into a notebook cover. With this open binding and the soft cover, if you put it into a nice leather notebook cover or something like that, you're going to have a beautiful notebook, especially with this paper. And of course, the elegant minimalist kind of line rule of it. This is a no-frills notebook, but utterly luxurious. The writing experience is really lovely on the page. The way the nibs feel on the page, you feel those lines, but it feels comforting. I enjoy it quite a lot. If you don't like a toothy or textured paper, this may not be the one for you. And you can check out things like the Tomoe River, the bank paper, even the Tranex paper for smoother paper. But if you like that texture, if you like to feel the paper you're writing on, this is so beautiful to write on. And it's a well-made notebook. These bindings all hold up. I've been using this bank paper notebook for ages for a particular project, that like a multi-year project, and you can see like the gluing is all holding together, the way it's all bound, like there's no cracking, there's no fraying or anything like that. Even the covers are sort of holding up really nice. There's a few little bangs and scuffs and things, but nothing worth writing home about. These are well-made notebooks. They perform beautifully. They use super interesting paper, and that's where the focus is, and that's where they shine. So I really love this Dandelaid paper notebook. As I said, I'll link to the Papermind website down below so you can check out more information about it and see if it's for you. But I'm really enjoying this. I love writing on it. As I said, for me, when I want to do intentional writing, this is the kind of paper I love to write on. So I'm really looking forward to exploring this notebook and using it more and more over time. So a big thank you to Papermind for providing this and a range of other notebooks for me to show you. I think they do amazing things. Beautiful papers, beautiful build quality, and care is taken, and that's very clear to see. So head over, like and subscribe to their stuff as well, but like and subscribe to me here. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you would like to support my channel, I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your notebooks, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.